Hello, Scorpio. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. Illustrated by Mark Evans, if I can get the glare off his name. There's Ellen Dugan, right? Yep, Dugan. I'm pretty sure she has a few decks, but I could be wrong. This lady also has at least more than one deck. Stacy DeMarco in her deck of Queen of the Moon Oracle for our supportive Oracle cards. Whew. Scorpio. Like, I feel like I'm jumping all over the place just to start with. Things are definitely going to go out of order. I'm already getting that. So what I think we mean by that is, like, people are popping in with certain situations, and it's kind of like, I thought we already dealt with that. And then it comes in again, and then it's kind of like, wait, what is this talking about? And then later you're like, oh, that's what that meant. Things are out of place. Things are really out of place. I also see like a lack of communication being a big problem. Being a big problem. For those of you this is going to hit with, I feel like they're trying to give you a heads up of what to look for to avoid like a brick wall is what I think they're doing here. Because when I'm starting off with this, you got the Emperor with the Fool, which is telling me whatever the situation is, you're like, I'm not about the bull anymore. It's kind of like, I feel like I've been putting up with somebody or something, and I've just hit my limit. I'm over it, and I'm like, we're going to go at this, and we're going to go at this directly, because I'm cleaning house. I'm sick of this. For some reason, I don't know why, I've been putting up with some of this, and I'm finished. I'm over it. Done. And going directly into it, and cleaning house, pretty much. Now, the Fool card with the Emperor is kind of like, I'm expecting it to fly right after this. Like, after I get in here and clean house, I expect it to stay clean. Like, this house is a mess. I'm going in there. I'm going to make people help me, and we're all going to clean this up because y'all help make this mess. And once we get it together, I'm going to tell you you're going to keep it clean, and we're going to do that. And I'm expecting it to fix and stay fixed. Correct and stay correct. Now, other people, they seem to be giving in to you. They seem to understand that your energy is not kidding. Like, I feel like that's normal with Scorpio. Like, when Scorpio has something to say or Scorpio is going to move forward, people usually get the hint. Like, all right, the Scorpio is on the point. Maybe they're on the rampage. Okay, maybe. And they're not going to get in your way. They're like, I can get in your way, but I'm also going to get ran over if I don't. Like, it's not going to be easy. So I feel like whoever you're dealing with gets it. They're like, okay, they're surrendering to it. There's something here that doesn't quite match. See, this is the first part I don't like. See, you're very strong, but you expect people to tell you the truth. Kind of like, we're going at this. So tell me. So, like, I expect this to stay. If there's something that's going to keep this from staying, keeping this house clean, like keeping the situation correct, keeping it from staying fixed, you know what I mean? You expect somebody to tell you. That's the first problem I'm coming up against, because nobody is telling you what really happened. It's kind of like, the house is a mess, I'm fixing it. But we're not dealing with what made it a mess, and that's the problem. What went wrong? Why did it get this way? What it looks like the reason is, I'm getting is not quite it. It's kind of like, you know, like, what's going on? Like, do we have people coming over? Is there an animal in the house? Are we all so busy that we're running from thing to thing and we don't have time to really do this? So we're trying to, like, do it has to be done right now and letting things fall behind and things are getting messy. What is going on? Like, because if it's a behavior like that, it's like visitors coming in, or if it's animals, or it's like people are just so busy that they just can't keep up with things, it's going to repeat. And that's what's causing the problem. And nobody's telling you what the actual cause of it is. Nobody's telling you. It's almost like they're seeing, like, okay, the Scorpio's unhappy. Just make the Scorpio happy and keep going with life. Almost like it'll solve itself. It will not. And there is a fear energy here in the environment. They just feel like, all right, I'll just do my best with it. Once we have it, it's almost like, okay, we fixed it. Now that we fixed it, I just got to make sure I keep in that mode. And it just, like, whenever I come back and I have to go to the next thing, I just, you know, if I make a dish, I clean a dish, or I just don't use dishes. Maybe I just won't eat here. That's what I will do. And, like, you know, I just won't you know, I'll keep my clothes here, and I won't do too much, and I'll try to keep it on point as much as I can. Even, this might be somebody who's overworked, so this might be like a plan in the failing in the plan, whatever you want to call it, because I feel like you're trying to get this situation going right, and you're holding to it, and you're like, all right, we need to get this needs to stay on point, and you know it keeps falling out of balance. This is a situation that keeps falling out of balance, so you're expecting it to start falling out of balance again. And when it I think this is how you're going at it. When it starts falling out of balance again, you're gonna be like, all right, what's going on here? You expect to catch it and fix it. Like, okay, that's what you're doing. That's not working. We got to change that right now, and that's how you plan to go about it. When I see it start going out of balance, I'm going to address it, and I'm going to start creating something to correct that behavior. But you're expecting it to come forward, and I feel like people are hiding it. They're hiding it the best they can because they don't want to make you upset. The Four of Wands, Four of Swords. Four of Swords should be a healing card, but I don't know if I really feel that way with this. Because I'm feeling like an obstinate, like, you know, it's got this weird energy, kind of like, it'll be better, I'll just keep the Scorpio happy. And you're like, this isn't, this seems weird, like, of all the times this has gone wrong, and it's always gone back into this bad habit, like, it seems to be working correctly now. It's kind of like, is it okay? It's kind of like, if it's going right, I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to see how long this lasts. Maybe people got the hint. Maybe it finally is flying right. Seems odd, but okay. I'll just go with it, and I'll keep my eyes open. You're not expecting it, but I'm getting that Four of Swords, and I keep wanting to call it the Four of Wands. Four of Wands talks about a commitment, and I think that's what we're talking about. Somebody's trying to fix this and trying to commit to that, but there's also like an obstinate energy here, like just trying to make it work out, trying to force something to actually work. I read cards intuitively. I don't, because like the Four of Swords, that's not normally what that energy is, but that's what it feels like here. Like they're just trying to hold it together. They're trying to make it look right. They're trying to force a healing that I don't feel like is really working. It's almost like they're trying to force a truce. As it keeps going forward, you want to create this balance, but you're blocked from it. You're just kind of like, something doesn't feel right here. And you're just like, this doesn't make sense. But on the other hand, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Kind of like, if it's going well, I'm going to let it go well. Like, why would I go in here and create a fit when it's the way I want it to be? The house is staying the way I want it to be. Or whatever the situation is, it's staying the way I want it to be. But you don't trust it. That could be like a water sign thing, in the sense of like your intuition is like saying, be careful. It may look good, something right here, something right here. But at the same time, you're like, but nothing is wrong, so there's nothing for me to go in and fix because nothing is wrong, but it doesn't feel right. I feel like that's the Two of Swords. Like your intuition is going, this ain't right, something's not right. You just can't put you can't put your finger on like what to look for or where to look for it. Like I don't even know what would be wrong, let alone where to go to find it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, if something is missing, like what? And where do I go to fix it? Like I don't have any clue about what's wrong here, but I know something's not right. Is that the Knight? Yep. Knight of Swords and Trust. I feel like I'm getting all the right answers. Okay. Somebody is really trying very, very hard to do things correctly. This has a shelf life. So this is an honest energy. When they give trust, I get faith, I get honesty. Honesty to the point of like, somebody tells you they did something, they did do it. They're not going to give you the emotional component. You needed that done? I did it. Okay, I got to go. They're not going to tell you, I got up at 5:30 this morning. It's midnight now. I forced myself to do that because I knew you'd get upset. It's now 1 o'clock in the a.m. and I need to get up again at 5 o'clock tomorrow. They're not telling you that they're completely exhausted and the next day they're going to be completely wiped out. they've been busy all day. This is the first chance they had a chance to stop and do something. They're not telling you all that. You would want to know that. That would make a huge, huge difference to you. They're not saying that. They're just kind of like, it's done, just so you know. Okay, great. You don't even know when they did it. You just know it's done. You may not even know when they did it. So you may not have any clue about how early they got up, what they've been doing all day, how they've been running themselves ragged, how they forced themselves through this last piece just to make sure it would work out. And now they're going to get 4 hours of sleep and be exhausted the next day going forward. You have no... I feel like you don't have any clue that that's happening. They're just trying to force it. They're trying to force themselves to get used to it. This would make a difference to you. It'd make a huge difference. They're forcing them... They're going to try to hold this as long as they can, is what I'm also getting with the Nine of Wands. It seems like they feel like their success is dependent on it. I feel like you're very supportive with this energy, with the Knight of Wands and the Four of Cups. It's kind of like you still know that something isn't right. You know that something isn't right, and I'm getting that again with the Four of Cups. But you're supporting this. You're like, I'm not going to knock somebody down for doing what needs to be done. Like, I'm not going to cause a problem when somebody's doing what they need to do. Like, that makes no sense. But that Four of Cups is kind of like, it just doesn't feel right to me. This does not feel right to me. I'm getting that, like, I'm getting a whistle too. So I'm like, that was going to be very strong. Like, your intuition, these two cards are talking about your intuition to me. Like, you know something isn't right. You're feeling like something isn't right here. This just doesn't make sense. I'm happy for it. I'd love for this to keep going, but that little inkling in the back of your head is going, no, this isn't right. This isn't going to work. It's only going to go so far before the release comes in with the Empress. The Empress? Yep. The thing is with the Empress, a very good card, yes, but when the Empress, for the Empress to succeed, there has to be balance. She can't take care of everybody and not herself. She has to be included with everybody. She has to take care of everybody and herself, which includes, usually, hopefully, where she just has to communicate her needs, and other people realize, hey, I can't expect the Empress to do everything. I have to do for the Empress too. She has to communicate it, because she's usually that center of strength that people look to. So she has to communicate that out. Listen, I've got a lot I got to do, but you know what? I need this, and I need that, and I need some time for myself, and y'all need to work this together. Y'all need to work it out. Figure out, when am I going to get some time for me, because you're killing me. You're running me into the ground, and I can't help y'all if I just end up a sick mess on the floor, and I can't even get up. So y'all need to help me too. Probably you would say that better than that. But still, there's an energy here with the Empress. When she really succeeds and flourishes, she has to have time for herself too. And she makes sure she has that. And she communicates that out to other people. Like, this needs to happen. I need to breathe too. I need to have something too. Once in a while, you know what? I need to have my favorite dessert. I make it for y'all all the time. I need to have mine too. You know, it's only fair. Like, I'm not saying every day I want mine, but once or twice a month, not for nothing. The release with, like, this person is snapping because it built up too much. It built up way too much. Something is going wrong. Hopefully I'm hoping it's verbal. I'm hoping this is a person telling you and just, like, losing their crap and just verbally telling you what's going on with them. That's the better of the two. Otherwise, I feel like there might be some type of, like, somebody's doing too much. They can't keep up with it, and there's going to be some type of backlash. Part of this makes me worried, like, somebody's overworking themselves and doing too much and not getting enough sleep, and they might have some type of accident in some version. It should not be a devastating accident, but one that takes them out of the game for a couple days, at least, if not for a couple months. I almost said years. I don't know. Why would I say, I don't know. There might be something that really, somebody might get hurt and it might take them a couple years to fully recover. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but I don't want to say years, but I keep feeling the word come forward. Like my mouth wants to say years. So be careful with this. Whatever happens, it's very upsetting to you when it finally comes across. And I'm seeing when it does happen, whether it's verbal, which I feel like is the better, or if it's something physically happens, like there's some type of accident or problem, or some type of this person gets sick in some way. I just see you having to react to it and not like I don't see you being able to like argue it. It just kind of like it happens and you just kind of have to deal with it when it happens. Like, oh my god, and you just have to like do something with it. It's more of like it's happened and now I have to just do what I need to do to get along here to make this work out. It feels like you're very unhappy with this, but not. I don't know. You're very upset, like sad upset, like sad upset is what I'm getting, because I feel that energy. Extremes with the self-love, kind of like, why didn't you tell me? I'm getting that energy too. Like, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? Like, I feel you saying this to them. Like, why didn't you tell me this? Why didn't you tell me that? This could have gone better. Like, I didn't. Like, why didn't you tell me? I feel like that energy, kind of like, why didn't you tell me? Like, what did you really think was going to happen? This is a weird situation because I don't think it's going to be the worst ending. But hopefully when this comes forward to the people it hits with, I'm hoping it's before anything really bad happens and you can just kind of jump in and be like, okay, do you have time just to talk to me one-on-one? Because if you don't, let's lighten the load for a while so that way we can make time for each other because I just need to talk with you and find out what's happening because I'm nervous. I feel like something's wrong. I feel like for those of you this is hitting with, your intuition is going off every now and then, kind of like something isn't right, something isn't right, something isn't right. You need a moment, and you need to maybe schedule a moment with this person or kind of like, listen, let me take some of this off your plate, or let's just put this to the side, let's not worry about this for now, and I want to have time just to talk with you in the next day or two. So let's schedule a time, just you and I can talk, and then talk about what's been going on and how you've been handling it because I'm worried that something isn't right here. And they may be a little bit cranky about that, which is really a huge red flag. If they give you pushback or they're a little bit snippy about it, that is, you're definitely on the right track because you're probably going to get pushback about it. Like, I'm fine, or I don't need that, or I don't have time for that. That's like your red flag. Like, yeah, you really do need to talk to this person. The Three of Swords is coming in with the Five of Swords. Five of Wands. Okay, the Five of Wands. There's conflict coming with this person sooner or later, but it's like, how upset do we need to be? Like, how bad does it have to be? If you bring this forward before there's a problem, whatever that problem is, like something goes wrong, like I feel like an accident, they're going to be really hard to deal with for a minute here. But I feel like the outcome, the after effect is a lot better, kind of like, all right, we argued it out, but we figured out what the problem was and we can do something with it. Because I want to get to that card, but it's not quite yet. There's a good card coming here, but I'm trying to get to it. It's just not quite ready. There's going to be resistance. There's going to be this feeling of being trapped, right? Whatever this situation is you want to fix, we really got to simplify it. It really has to be simplified. It's going to be rough, but I feel like something has to be really simplified. Very much simplified. Somebody's overdoing it. This other person, you might be doing 3 times as much as they're doing. They just don't have it in them to do that much. Whatever it is they're doing, they're overdoing it. It's too much for them. They just can't do what you do. And I feel like a lot of Scorpios are like, well, yeah, I don't expect people to do what I do. But still, there might be some simplification or downsizing things, reorganizing things. I feel like this person needs to have somebody talk with them. They need to vent out what's going wrong. So I feel like there's going to be an uncomfortable moment. I don't know how you want to do that. But they need to vent out what's happening and their frustrations in a respectable way. I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know. But things need to be simplified and brought down a bit. There's resistance to that. There's feeling trapped. This has to go forward, though. How do we do that? This is when this card finally comes in. The coming together, you just got to give this person a moment to really remember how much you care. I feel like no matter what this is, whether business or not, I feel like this person just needs to see that moment where you actually care what happens to them. Doesn't mean, you're best buddies for the rest of your life, but it matters to you what happens to them. That's all they need. When they start connecting to that, and they start realizing that that's why you want to have these talks, and you might have to keep these talks going. You have to keep bringing this subject up, keep bringing this subject up. When they finally click in that, and they realize that you're actually trying to make something go better because you do actually care, It's like they maybe that should be obvious, but emotionally they're not feeling it. They need to connect with it emotionally. And once they realize the Scorpio actually cares what happens to me, like, and I feel like on your side you're like, well, of course I do. Like like obviously I do. Why would I even bother if I didn't? They emotionally have to make that click over. Like the Scorpio is trying to help me. They want things to go better. They actually care what happens to me. Like I need to remember that. Like they need to come around like, okay, wait a minute. Once they realize and they come together with that, I feel like things are going to get better. I just feel like I don't know if it's going to be easy. It's subjective, but they have to get to that point where it's kind of like you might have to say things to that effect, like I care, I want things to get better. I feel like even if you say that flat out, I swear it's going to get thrown right back in your face, and I apologize for that because I don't want to set you up that way. But you may have to say it a couple times, and then I feel like they're going to be like, well, why do you keep saying that to me? You'll be like, because I don't think you understand. I don't think you're really absorbing. Like, what do you think I'm saying when I say that? I feel like you might have to literally get very literal. Literally get literal. Okay, do what you got to do with that. It's rough, but I do feel like it can get better. It just feels like it's going to hit a rough spot. Whew. This is where this one's ending. Because I feel like they're trying to give you a heads up. They're trying to help you bring it forward sooner rather than later. It's kind of like a situation that can go on for 3 months. You can shorten it down to like three weeks. You know what I mean? Instead of letting it drag out for 3 whole months and who knows, a little longer maybe. Kind of compressing it into 3 weeks and like, let's just get it over with so we can move past it and just deal with all this stuff. Because I'm getting, when the conflict comes in, the conflict is still the conflict. Like I don't feel like waiting it out for 3 months makes it any easier. But I feel like I'd rather like go through it in 3 weeks and start moving on from it rather than drag it out and drag it out and drag it out and drag it out, and then it just like, I'd rather just get it over with and move past it. And I feel like they're hoping that this comes in a way that you can identify it, see it, bring it forward. Like let's just deal with it, get through the hard time, then we can move past it. Because it's going to happen either way. I feel like they're just kind of helping you shortcut it. Like, why have it drag out? Let's just get through it. Let's get over it. Let's move on from it. Let's just head towards it. You have the Emperor energy anyway on your side, which is telling me it's probably what you want anyway. Let's just handle it. Let's just deal with it. Let's just get through it. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.